Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, how constructors are different from methods in Java. Let me answer this question with practical demonstration. First of all, I'll write about constructors, constructors versus methods. What are the differences we have? Coming to the first difference, the constructors doesn't have any return type, no return type. Okay, when compared to methods, methods have return type. Okay, no return type in constructors. Otherwise, I'll write constructor here. In constructor, there is no return type. Okay, constructors will not return anything back. So no return type, including void. We cannot even mention void, the declaration of the constructor. Second thing about the constructor here is the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. Name of the name should be same as class name. The name of the constructor should be same as a class name. Whereas method can have any of its name. Okay, it may not be same as a class name, but constructor's name should be same as a class name. Though method and constructors look similar, but these are the differences they have in Java, guys. That is, constructors will not have return type. Name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. And the third one is constructors are automatically invoked when you create objects. When we create objects for a class, constructors will be called. Constructors will be called. Okay. So these are the main things. Okay, main differences between the constructor and a method. Here I'll write a method and tell you the comparison here. Here no return type. Here at least void should be there. Return type will be there. Return type will be there. Even though the method doesn't return anything, at least void we have to keep. Okay, void or any data type of the data. Void or any data type you have to specify. Okay, data type or class type you can specify. That's okay. Then next one is method name can be anything. Method name can be anything. It may not match with the class name. Can be anything. Okay. No need to match with class name. In case of methods, the name of the methods, no need to match with the class names. Third one is, in order to call the methods, we have to first create objects and using object reference. Okay. By using object reference, we can call the methods of the class. Okay. And the other thing is, there are other ways of calling the methods. Here, simply create an object, and in the calling method, in the object creation statement itself, constructor calling statement will be there. But coming to the methods, there are multiple ways of calling the method. That is, first create an object using the object reference, you can call the method. Or if that particular method is a static method, using the class name, we have to explicitly call the methods. Okay, call the methods. But here explicit calling is there, guys. Explicit calling in either you have to create an object and using the object reference you have to call the method if that is a normal method inside the class. If it is a static method, okay, using the class name, I have to drag it down so that using the class name, we have to explicitly call the static methods. Here also explicit calling, here also explicit. Here we have to use object reference to call the method. Here we have to use okay. Here we have to use to explicitly call the method. Here we have to use class name to explicitly call the methods. But in case of constructors, just by creating object, the constructor will be automatically called. No need to call it explicitly. With practical demonstration, I'm going to explain all these differences between the constructor and methods for you. Okay. So in case of constructors, it simplifies the process of initializing the variables, class variable for the object, guys. The simplest version is with constructors. Methods also simplify, not to the extent of the constructor though. So those are the high level things. Anyhow, the major differences between constructors and methods is something like this. I'm going to show you right now. I'll just open this, and here I'm going to create a new file here. I'll just name this file as let's say demo3 file with main method, and create with main method. Okay, fine. And I'm going to create a class, guys. I'm going to create a class. I'm going to name the class as animal class. Animal class. Okay, class animal. So this is the class, guys. In this class, I'll create some, I'll create a method, guys. In this class, I'll create a method. Say control plus plus. In this particular class, I'll create a method, guys. So the method name, the method will be like this, guys. Public void run. Okay, run is the name of the method. Let's say run is the name of the method. You can give any name for the method, guys. It don't have to be same as a class name. Okay, it can have any name. If the method doesn't return anything, at least void return type. This is the return type of the method, guys. What should be there? And here I'll simply say system.out.println animal is running. Okay, just see what are the details of the methods here. Return type will be there, either void should be there, and based on the type of the data you are returning back to the method calling statement. Okay, we have to provide the return type. At least void return type should be there. Methods will have the return type that specified minimum as void, or if a particular data is being written, that particular data type should be written, should be specified in place of this void. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is method name can be anything, guys. You see here, run is the name of the method. Here, animal is the class name. It can be anything. If you create one more method with a different name, you can create no problem at all. No need to match with the class name. Third one is explicit calling, guys. If you want to call this particular method, you have to explicitly call this particular method, guys. How to explicitly call? Here I need to create an object for the animal class. Animal is equal to new animal. Like this, you need to create an object for the animal class. Okay, you need to create an object for the animal class, and using this object reference, you have to call, using this object reference, you have to call the run method. Okay, this is one way. Explicitly you are calling the run method here. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, right click, run as Java application. You see animal is running, got printed, means the method has been called and got executed also. Or if this particular method is a static method, then I don't have to create the object reference, guys. Directly using the class name I can call, that is animal dot run. Like this, explicitly I have to call this run method with the help of the animal class. If that particular method is a static, if that is not static, I have to create an object, and using the object reference I have to call this particular method. Okay, so this is all about the methods, guys. Okay, this is all about the methods I mentioned here. Okay, explicitly we have to call the methods. But coming to the constructor, constructors will not have return type, guys. Okay, for example, I'll just convert this method into constructor, where I'll remove the return type first. And if I have to convert this particular method, which looks similar to the method, okay, constructors also look similar to the methods, but they don't have any return type, including void if it doesn't return anything. And the return type of and the name of the constructor should be same as the name of the class. I'll copy paste the name of the class here with the constructor, and animal is running is the code which is there inside this. This is a constructor, guys. But how it will be invoked? Further, guys, simply create an object animal is equal to new animal, or even you don't have to write like simply new keyword will create the objects for any classes in Java, right? New animal you type, that's it, guys. You don't have to do anything here. Using the new keyword, you create an object for the animal class, and this is a constructor calling statement, okay, which is automatically invoked, and animal constructor will be called automatically, guys. You don't have to explicitly use any object reference or class name to call the constructor. Directly when you create an object for the class, the constructor of that particular class will be automatically called, and the code inside that particular it's a constructor, right? It is a constructor will get executed. So here, no return type, name should be same as a class name. When we create objects, constructor will be automatically called. Constructors will be automatically called, guys. You don't have to automatically call, you don't have to explicitly call the constructors. Okay, these are the major differences between the constructors and methods. Okay, and these are the major differences, guys. Both can be used for initializing the class variables for objects, but even simplifies the process of initializing. If you want to add one more point, constructor is better than a method in constructor. Structor is better than a method in initializing the class variables for objects in Java. Okay, is better than a method in simplifying the initialization process. Simplifying the initialization of the class variables for objects in Java. This is a proper statement. Okay. When compared to method, constructor is even more better in simplifying the initialization process, initializing of the class variables process for objects in Java, guys. Okay. So if you want to know more details about this particular line, how constructors are better in initializing the class variables for objects than the methods, you just watch the previous interview question answer, guys, where I covered clearly for you what is the purpose of the constructors and how they simplify the process of initializing the class variables for the objects of the classes in Java. Okay, so that you can add as an additional point if you want, but these three are the major points that you have to answer in the interviews. So with practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you guys. You can take a screenshot of this code of the constructor and how the constructor is automatically called, and you don't have to explicitly. Okay, you don't have to explicitly. For example, here I'll create a method also, guys. Public void, okay, run now method. Any name you can give, guys. Okay, system.out.println. Here I'll say I am an animal. I am an animal. I'll just print it out in the constructor, and here for this method I'll say animal is running. Inside the method we have animal is running, guys. Okay, and I'll create one more method, that is public static void method. Public static void, okay, sleep now. Animal is sleeping. I'll print system.out.println. Animal is sleeping. Okay, like this. This is the constructor, guys, which doesn't have any return type, and the name of the constructor is same as the name of the class name. But these are the methods which have their own names and they have the return type as void. Either they are normal methods or static methods, doesn't matter. Okay, they are not constructors. Okay, so if I have to call a constructor, I don't even have to create an object reference, guys. Simply by using the new keyword, write this statement, and this constructor calling statement will call the constructor automatically. But if you want to call this particular method, you have to create an object reference, guys. Animal is equal to new animal. Okay, animal is equal to new animal, and say animal dot run now. Okay, run now. Like this you have to call using the object reference of the class. You have to call this particular method. Unlike constructor, which is automatically called when you create an object. But here, when you create an object, the method will not be called using the object reference of the class. We have to call the method explicitly, or if that particular method, if another method you can see is a static method, such kind of methods can be called with the help of the class names. You don't have to create the object, but you have to use a class name to explicitly call the static method. Sleep now is a static method which we have to use for calling it directly using the class name. So with this demonstration, guys, hope you got everything covered. Okay, so you can take the screenshot of this code, guys. You can take the screenshot of this code where I demonstrated how to call a constructor, how to call the methods, which are non-static methods and static methods, okay, explicitly. Okay, and the differences between the constructor and methods you can clearly see in this particular code. Hope you have taken the screenshot of this particular code. So with practical demonstration and theoretical explanation, I've explained what exactly the differences between the constructors and methods are, or how the constructors are different from the methods also is another way of putting the question, like what is the difference between constructors and methods and how constructors are different from methods. The same thing is constructors will not have return type like methods. Constructors will have the name as a class name, whereas methods can have any name. Okay, then what is the other one, guys? Okay, constructors will be automatically called when you create an object for the class, but methods, to call the methods, we have to either use the object reference of the object reference, or explicitly we have to call it using object reference, or by using the class name explicitly we have to call it with a static method. Okay, on the top of that, the constructor way of simplifying the initialization process for class variables for object is even more better than the methods that I covered in the previous interview questions answer. You can check that, okay, in this series. Fine. So that's all for this session, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.